everybody. Welcome back to the Lando Project podcast. It is Lando. We are here with another fantastic episode. And unfortunately, though, I have to do it by myself because there's a storm going through Dallas right now. My homie BC doesn't have power. So RIP to BC, straight up. Nah, just playing. Wishing well to my good friend BC down there in Dallas as they kind of figure out what's going on down there. But we still have a show for you today. As you can see, I don't have all the lights on, so it's just going to be a very intimate show between me and the chat, right? Talk about whatever, and little man is crying, but it's all good. So yeah, we have a good roundup. I kind of went and scoured the news a little bit, got some things we want to talk about. But let's hop into what the thumbnail is. Let's hop into Ahsoka episode 3. It's been a few days, so this will, of course, as always, we do not do spoiler-free discussions. Everything we drop here will be spoilers. So if this is spoiler territory for you, I highly recommend that you expeditiously vacate yourself from the premises. Okay? All right? You've had time. You're out of here. All good. King's Portal in the chat. What's he saying? I was watching Animal Kingdom. Hey, bruh. Animal Kingdom's legit, man. But Animal Kingdom will be there for you after this is over. Animal Kingdom will still be there, man. You know who won't be there? I won't be there. In spirit, maybe. But let's talk Ahsoka. So, I've been keeping my ear to the streets. And there's a lot of, I guess the fans are divided over this show. Now, let me just go on ahead and say this. I did watch Rebels. I did watch Clone Wars. And I've watched pretty much every single Star Wars project that has come out. I'm a huge fan of Dave Filoni. I am a huge fan of Jon Favreau. And I'm a huge fan of what they've done with Mandalorian. Okay? All right. Now, that being said, I understand where many fans have issues with what Disney has done with Star Wars. I am one of those fans. I do not like, as a whole, the sequel trilogy. Okay? I don't like them as a whole. I don't feel like they have the right vibe for me. Now, if they're your favorites, then hey, more power to you. But for me, not my favorite Star Wars. Now, I do like Rebels. I liked what they did with Rebels. I like what Dave Filoni has pretty much done with everything that he has touched on, right? And with that being said, this show relies heavily on the fact that you needed to watch Rebels. And to the average viewer, King's Portal said it right in the chat, it is too convoluted for the average viewer. If you did not watch Rebels, this show just somehow doesn't seem to... it's not doing a good job at setting up what happened, right? I think a lot of fans of Star Wars that did not watch Rebels are probably a little confused, or they just feel like I don't know what's going on anymore, and they're probably tapping out and leaving. Now that's fair. That's fair. I did not have that issue because, like I said, I watched Rebels. Now, episodes 1 and 2 of Ahsoka came out, and for the most part, I will say that I enjoyed watching those 2 episodes. I had some issues with some of those 2 episodes. I thought some of the things that they did in those 2 were a little whack. All right, I'm just going to say it. I thought it was a little whack. I thought it was a little tired. I think the whole Sabine getting stabbed was dumb, because it does take away from the Qui-Gon Jinn of it all. And it's not just Sabine. It's also with Reva and her being stabbed twice. And to me, I feel like the lightsaber has been nerfed. But I've also said that when Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, remember when Obi-Wan Kenobi, when he went to save Princess Leia, I believe, and he had to go into that dark room, there were stormtroopers or clone troopers, whichever troopers there were. And he started batting the trooper with the lightsaber. To me, that was when the lightsaber already got nerfed. I thought it was I don't think it was fairly consistent with the power that a lightsaber has had up until that point in Star Wars canon. So once I saw that going into this, them not killing Sabine tracks, because the lightsaber has been nerfed officially. That's just one thing I did not like about episodes 1 and 2. Now let's get to episode 3. I'm still positive going to episode 3. Looking forward to what they're going to do because I'm very interested on Grand Admiral Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn, I'm a legacy reader. I grew up reading the legacy books. I remember reading the Heir to the Empire trilogy. Huge fan of Thrawn. I bought the new trilogy of books when Timothy Zahn rewrote the new trilogy of books. Big fan of Grand Admiral Thrawn. So let's get to the guy, right? That's where I'm at with this. I don't really care for Ezra. I don't really care for Sabine. I don't. But I want to get to the Grand Admiral Thrawn of it all. Now, episode 3 drops. We have some, I will say that I did not enjoy this episode. I did not enjoy it as a whole. I thought that there were some good parts. I thought that there was some good chemistry. There was some good dynamics that they're trying to establish, mainly with, I do like how Ahsoka is trying to train Sabine. I have thoughts about Sabine's character. I also feel like they're ripping off New Hope at the same time. But hey, that's what George Lucas says, though. It rhymes. So hey, George, maybe this is one of those rhyming things. So I'm here for it. The issue with me isn't necessarily the actresses, the actors, or the characters. My issue is, I believe, just the scope of the episodes. And here's what I mean by that. One of the things that I love about George Lucas's Star Wars, one specific thing was things like the score, right? I thought the score was fantastic. I do think the score is pretty good for this, but I don't feel like the score interrupts and involves itself into the scene in the heaviest way that the old scores used to do that. And I think that takes away from the Star Wars of it all. I can't get enthralled in this because the score isn't there to lift me. At the same time, in this episode, there was a space battle. And then they fly through Purgles, right? I remember looking over at Lindsey, my wife. Hey, doesn't it feel like this Purgle flying through should be a little bit more, just more? It seems very weak. I just thought the execution of that scene was weak, right? I didn't really get excited watching this space battle. I was just, okay, another zippy zip zip, right? Nothing's really... I didn't feel the danger or the peril at all. Not to mention, in the space battle, it seemed like their ship was getting hit quite a bit, and normally those ships will blow up. I don't know. It's just there's certain things that they're doing that my brain is trying to re-register on. Okay, is this not what Star Wars is? Because I thought it was this other thing. So the rules to me are being rewritten in that regard. I do still like the Ahsoka character. I do. I am starting to feel tired of the character, though. The character to me isn't really doing it for me. Missing that factor. You know, what do you guys think about Ahsoka? Like, I mean, honestly, how do you feel about Rosario Dawson's portrayal of the character? I think that she's acting okay. I just feel that... Remember how Anakin was kind of bland at times? I'm getting that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Okay, King's Portal. It's a sword that has a effing laser on it. It should be able to cut through anything. It should. It should. Take it back to episode 1 when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn had to slice through that thick-ass metal door and rotate in order to get... You know, that's the power of the lightsaber. Qui-Gon Jinn, I think Star Wars Theory did a great episode on it. A lightsaber gets up to be like 15,000 degrees, 20,000 degrees. It'll scorch your insides. That's why Qui-Gon died from it. And in fact, Qui-Gon stayed alive long enough, as long as he did, because he was using the Force to keep himself alive. Sabine doesn't have the Force. Why is she still alive? Why is she still alive? I don't get it. I don't get it. You're talking about a lightsaber that cut Maul in half, and then we're batting stormtrooper plates? I don't get it. I don't get it. She crosses her arms a lot like she does in Clone Wars. Now, she does cross her arms a lot. I thought that was kind of funny. I know it's what she does in Clone Wars. So I'm okay with that characterization, that personality part of her carrying over. And she does it a lot. It's every scene. The arm cross. And it's not even like she's doing the arm cross subtly. It takes me out of the scene sometimes. And then you got Sabine doing the arm cross and Hera doing the arm cross. Everyone is crossing their arms, man. Everybody. Chopper at some point is going to have to do it. But Ahsoka's doing it a lot. I don't really get upset about that because I do know that that's her character. So I give respect to that. That doesn't bother me. What I guess everything else I'm saying, it's just she seems boring, Ahsoka, right? She's kind of boring. Just as a character. Which to me conflicts because I would still think, even though Ahsoka was that hothead that she was when she was a teen, and I understand that she's now older now, I'm trying to figure out what personality trait she still has, because it feels like a totally just different character at this point. She looks the same, but it feels like a totally different character. That's where it's hard for me to dive into it. Now let me add on to it. The Obi-Wan's wife, that's Chopper is the best droid. I'm with you. Chopper is the best droid. Chopper's ready to put bodies in the dirt. Straight up. Like, if you was to look at, okay, let's correlate Star Wars characters to Marvel characters. Chopper is the Punisher. 6 feet deep. F around, find out. That's the droid. Like, he is the droid y'all looking for. And he wants to smoke. That's Chopper. And I respect that from Chopper. Chopper ain't got that. He ain't got that fake in his blood. He don't know what that's about. He's ready to ride out. You know how like C-3PO be like bitching out all the time? Like, I don't know if we should be doing this, R2. And R2's like, man, come on. Play. Like, Chopper's with it. Sabine was the rebel in the show Rebels to me. I agree. Sabine in Rebels was joyful. I loved watching Sabine. And Rebels. I really, really liked watching Sabine. Sabine was one of my favorite characters in Rebels. I don't care, though, about this Jedi thing. But at the same time, I'm having a hard time. One, I don't want her to have the Force. I don't. And I know what they're going to get at. She's going to end up having the Force by the end of this season is over. She's going to, I don't know, Force push something before this is over. I just am kind of over okay, let's make a story about this character, and then while we do that, we're going to shoehorn in this other character. Hashtag Obi-Wan Kenobi with Reva, right? Now we're doing that with Ahsoka and this Sabine thing. Sabine, listen, you're cool, and I don't even think that they're doing Sabine that right. I don't think they're doing Sabine justice. Like, Sabine is just dope, right? Everything that she does was just dope. And now she's just mad annoying. And I ain't trying to, I like Sabine. And I like the girl that's playing her. I think that she looks dead on for Sabine. When she was driving out and she hit the skirt on the motorcycle, skirt, dip down. That was tough, right? I like that. Where's the rest of that? I did like the fact that Ahsoka spacewalked, right? She spacewalked because they did that in Rebels. They did that in Clone Wars, right? Anakin and Ahsoka did the spacewalk shit. Cool, you brought that back. I'm with that. I had no issue with that. I just felt that when it was flying through the Purgles, I'm like, man, this is a weak scene. Like, there should have been more with that. There should have been crazier flying patterns, more maneuvers, whatever, right? It just felt dry. Now let me tell you things that I do like, what they're doing. I really, really, really appreciate the fact that they're pushing the narrative. I really like the fact that Dave Filoni is using this show to push a lot of things, because a lot of the Star Wars properties have been pretty stagnant. It's like, okay, this is cool, but what are we doing with this? Where are we going with this? This is a good vehicle to move everything forward. So I do like the hyperspace ring. I do like the possibilities of this potential other galaxy out there in the outer regions, and that's where Thrawn and Ezra are going to be. I like that. I like that a lot. I like the Purgle whales and how they are the hyperspace drivers, right? I like all this because these are things that haven't really truly been implanted into the universe, and I feel like the universe has gotten pretty tired. So these new ideas, I think, are important, and it's important to support shows like this because they're pushing new ideas to just further expand what Star Wars is, right? So I think it's good to do these things. So I have no issue with that. And in fact, I'm applauding the show for doing these things, right? I like the fact that, okay, we might be getting into another galaxy where there's other crazy Force people, and it could possibly, what was the father-son-daughter relationship that was in Rebels? You know what I'm talking about? The real OG ancient father-son-sister, like that. They could be coming from over there. Get some apple juice. Sorry. CP3 was always scared Lucas directed him that way. Yeah, I know. And I have no issue with CP3 being that way. I'm not knocking CP3, like, do what you need to do, play it. If you're not about that life, you're not about that life. Chopper's just about that life. That's it. I'm cool with them being different. I just prefer the rider. Like, remember Ben Affleck in The Town when he went and talked to Hawkeye? Was like, hey, bruh, we got to go handle some stuff, no questions. And he was like, yo, where the keys? Like, that's Chopper. Chopper's where the keys, Chopper. Where the keys, Chopper. That's why I ride with Chopper. I've been saying Mando and Boba was tight. I like Mando. I like some pieces of Boba Fett. I personally just did not like where they took the character Boba Fett. But hey, if that's where we got to go with the story, that's where we got to go with this. I hope that they can still make Boba Fett a badass. But it's apple juice, man. It's apple juice, player. But so I do like the fact that that's where we're going with Ahsoka, right? Let's push this because who knows what's on the other side of that galaxy? Ezra and Thrawn could be best friends over there. Could be best friends. No joke. What if they got over there and they realized, all right, bro, we're just outnumbered. We better team up and figure this out. Or what if Thrawn created his empire over there? He's smart enough to do it. What if he did? What if Ezra has spent some time in the world between worlds and now he's just omnipotent? Right? What if he... Now the thing is, Ezra... Here's some theory rumor stuff, right? If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, was Ezra and Luke born on the same day? They're born on the same day, right? I don't think it has... I think that they're going to lean into that, and they may possibly try to make Ezra this supreme dude, right? Which would be good if they can. Because I think that there was this whole thing about in episode 1 of Ahsoka, when Ahsoka went to rotate the little miniatures and the thing in that sand place before the droids blew it up, Darth Maul is in the background saying, is he the chosen one? So I'm wondering if the chosen one narrative is going to be rewritten for Ezra, right? I think Ezra and Luke were born the same day. I think. So that is a rumor that suppose you can hear Darth Maul saying, is he the chosen one? As Ahsoka turns that little thing before the orb, the apple of Eden, as I'm calling it, from Assassin's Creed, that you can hear Maul saying that. So I'm wondering if because now Ezra is out there tapped into two galaxies, two types of forces, what he can know, right? I like this dude, that Ray Stevenson is playing. I can't remember. Baylen? Bruh. I fucks with Baylen heavy. I want to see more of Baylen, though. I really don't care for Darth Maul apprentice that he has, the white chick. You know, she's not closing her eyes. Does she blink? Hey, someone let me know. Like, I haven't seen this girl blink yet. Like, she got the crazy eyes. She got crazy eyes. But I like Baylen. And I like the idea that he said in that other galaxy is power. So I'm wondering if in that other galaxy, Force users are just way more OP. Way more OP. That's what I'm hoping. Now, there's another character, right? That's what the thumbnail. Baylen Skull. That's my dude. I already fucks with Baylen. I fucks with Baylen heavy, bro. I need you to know that. From all I've gotten, I can never see him again, and he's up there with Darth Maul, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's over to me, Count Dooku. I already fucks with Baylen. That's my guy. Darth Santa? That's my guy. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, there's another guy that we need to talk about. So, everyone's been trying to figure this out. There's a lot of rumors out there on this Inquisitor that seems to be working for Morgan Elsbeth, or whatever her name is. I called her Morgan Jubilee on last week's episode, and I may continue calling her Morgan Jubilee because she has the whitest name in Star Wars history. But Morgan, the Nightsister, she's hired Baylen, White Girl Maul, and this masked Inquisitor. All right. And everyone's trying to figure out who this masked Inquisitor is. Now, let's go ahead and just rack this off real quick. Right? I do not think it's Ezra. And if it is Ezra, that's really, really dumb. I just think it's really dumb to make it Ezra. Because Ezra should be where Thrawn is, right? He should be where Thrawn is. So him being back makes zero sense to me. Because why would he be over here and not with the Rebels crew? Brainwashed? That's stupid. Like, you're going to have to pull, you're going to have to reach to make that make sense. Just don't make it Ezra. Make him out there in the outer regions, right? In the other galaxy. You know what I'm saying? I like that they brought in the Nightsisters. No, Nightsisters are fire. We can talk about the Nightsisters. But I don't think it's Ezra. Ezra would make for bad writing, in my opinion. I think that would just cause more problems than answers. Like, it'll just cause for more questions. Let Ezra be out there, and then that'll explain a lot of stuff. And I'll explain why Yoda thought there was, like, Luke was the last Jedi. That would make sense. Because Ahsoka left the Jedi Order, and it was just Luke left because Ezra's out there. He ain't over here. It'll make sense. Now, other people are saying Cal Kestis. Yeah, the look of Thrawn, he looks like a dude that's painted. To me, it's the Lou Ferrigno as Hulk thing, right? I know what you're trying to go for. This don't look right, but I'm still with it. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. A lot of people think that maybe he's Merrick. That one, I would say, makes more sense. And I don't have a reason to say why it wouldn't be, right? There has been nothing about Cal up to this point that would say he could not be an Inquisitor, because who knows, he may fall victim to the dark side at some point and end up working for Vader. But here's the thing that I want to address about Starkiller. About Galen Merrick being Starkiller. I want them to do this really badly, but I do not want them to do this really badly. Because I want them to do it because Starkiller is so fucking goated. Starkiller is so nice. I want him in there. I want to see him. But bruh, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it 1,000. If they bring Starkiller into this Star Wars, they're going to have to nerf him, dog. They're going to have to nerf him bad. Like, bruh, it's ridiculous how heavy they're gonna have to handicap Merrick. I mean, Starkiller, if it is Starkiller. And I don't think as fans of those Force Unleashed games, I think we would rather you leave Starkiller out of it than nerf him. That's funny. He go to the dark. I could see Cal going to the dark side. I could see. Now, Cal would be Cal, what if they do the thing where Cal is Starkiller, essentially, right? What if they do the thing where Cal turns to the dark side, Vader, then sees his potential, turns him to the dark side, and makes him his secret apprentice? Now, that is, in essence, the Starkiller storyline with a Jedi we already know about, and we now call him Merrick the same way that Galen Merrick was called Galen Merrick and Starkiller. Like, it just wouldn't be Sam Witwer. Would we now be okay with a Starkiller type character that now is not Sam Witwer with how much we like Sam Witwer? Now, that's another conversation. That's another conversation, right? But I could see them possibly writing Cal Kestis into Starkiller. But you got Sam Witwer already over there. Why not just do that? And the answer is because they're going to nerf him. The man pulled out an entire Star Destroyer out of the sky. Bruh. No one in Star Wars is that powerful. I'm with you. I do want Sam to get a starring role in Star Wars. Sam Witwer. I think when this is all said and done, right, in 40 years, Sam Witwer is going to be up there with Mark Hamill, with Carrie Fisher, with Harrison Ford. Sam Witwer in 30, 40 years will go down as one of the GOATs in Star Wars. If not, he's already there. But they're going to look at him as like, yeah, Sam Witwer carried Star Wars for a very long time. He's going to be up there with Ewan McGregor. Sam Witwer, right? And he deserves a starring role where you can see his face and get this man to shine. Because I'll say this, the same way that Marvel is lacking a figurehead, because Iron Man is gone, like Robert Downey Jr. is gone, right? I would argue that Star Wars also is lacking the same thing. There is no person in Star Wars that people just like anymore, right? Because Luke has been done, right? They killed Han. Leia passed away. Rey, people like Daisy Ridley, but people don't like the Rey character. People like Rosario Dawson, but people are split on Ahsoka. Right? I think you bring in Starkiller with Sam Witwer, let him be there for a good minute, and I think that Star Wars, and you don't nerf him. I think Star Wars fans start to come back and follow Sam. I think Sam is your guy. The same way that we always believed Dave Filoni was the guy to be the storyteller of Star Wars. We've always said that. But I think that they need a franchise quarterback, and Sam Witwer's your guy. I don't think it's Rosario. I think Rosario is a really, really solid player on that team, but they're not the guy, right? They're not she doesn't have that it factor that I think that is pulling the fans in as Ahsoka. You bring in Sam, people already love Sam. No one has an issue with Sam. Sam loves this stuff. And you put him you give him a lightsaber in real life. I think you bring back your fan base. Slowly. You don't nerf him, but slowly. I think it's a possibility. So I don't think you make Cal Kestis Starkiller. I think that Merrick, the most sense it would be if he's anybody, it's Starkiller. But I don't want it to be. Because I don't want them to nerf him. That's just it. Not to mention, I love the idea. And this is to me why I don't like the Sabine being so integral into the storyline thing. I love the idea that Ahsoka was supposed to be a show about Anakin's apprentice fighting Vader's apprentice. I love that idea. Just, yo, did you know that Vader had a secret apprentice that he trained where Palpatine, quote unquote, did not know about it? Palpatine did know about it, and he's trained Ahsoka as Anakin, and then Vader has taken up this Starkiller dude. To me, though, with Vader hating with the Inquisitors the way that he did, he would have to see something very unique and very special about this kid in order for him to risk his relationship with Palpatine, to risk being put into a situation where he had to overthrow Palpatine before he was ready, to risk it all for this kid, knowing already how his former apprentice was with Ahsoka. This kid would have to be stronger. Nerfing him just to push the Ahsoka's narrative would be super whack. It would be super whack. You have a chance to do something really interesting here, and that would be a super safe thing to do, and I think that you're just going to piss people off. It took a while for me to accept Ewan as young Obi, but now I dig it. I haven't watched the Obi-Wan series. I'm afraid it will tarnish my nostalgia. Okay. Don't watch it. If I had to say to watch it or not to watch it, don't watch it. And the reason why, because it's not Obi-Wan's story. He is not even the protagonist of the story, meaning he is not the character that is moving the storyline along. He's not. It's Reva, who is another character that they introduce. And then not to mention, Obi-Wan Kenobi has to babysit a young Princess Leia, and it's not about Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you want to see some dope shit, just YouTube the Vader Obi-Wan fight. I think they did 2 of them. Watch the second one. You don't read out. I mean, you can watch the first one if you want to. Just YouTube the fights. Have someone tell you what happened in it, and that way you're still with the story. But I would not watch it. There's a lot of stupid shit that they do in that show. There's a lot of stupid stuff. Now, at the same time, I heard that there's a very good fan edit. There's a very good fan edit where one of the visual effects designers for Andor went and looked at Obi-Wan, cut up the 6 episodes, made a 2-hour movie out of it, added some new scenes, like actually shot some new shit, put it in there, redid the color grading. I want to watch that. I might do that for the channel. I might watch that on the channel. I was going to get Lindsey down here. We're going to watch that together. If you want me to do that, we could do that. We could watch it together. I think that would be fire because I've heard really good things about it. I heard it's better, much better than the show. The show had problems. The show had some real problems. And if you really like the Obi-Wan Kenobi character, I think this show is going to aggravate you more than make you happy. I'm only saying that because that was the general consensus over it. I liked some of it, but did not like most of it. I liked some of it. I did not like most of it. I would just YouTube the Obi-Wan fight scene with Vader, and then there's a Vader scene where he is looking for Obi-Wan in the streets. That's about it, because the rest of it was a lot of bloated shit that they threw in there, which didn't need to be in there. So there is that fan-made video that I've been told to check out. But yeah, back to Merrick. I really, really, really think that Dave would pull something like bringing in Starkiller. That's Dave's forte, right? But God damn it, I don't trust the regime over at Disney. I just do not trust what they do over there, right? Going back to juking us with the whole Finn being force sensitive stuff, right? They started early, fool me once, shame on you, fool can't get fooled again. That's my only hesitation. Now, back to the Ahsoka review. I left this episode wanting more. It was a very short episode, only 29 minutes. And yeah, Baylen didn't say shit the whole episode. He was barely in it. which he's my most intriguing character. He was barely in it. And then Morgan Jubilee. I like the fact that they're bringing in a Nightsister. And I have a lot of theories about the Nightsisters. All right. I think that the Nightsisters came from the other galaxy. I'm up on that train. I am on that train where I think the Nightsisters came from where Thrawn and them are trying to go. And because she is the last of her kind, she wants to get back over there. That is my prediction. That is why I think, because I asked BC last week, why do you think that she's trying to help Thrawn? I don't think she's trying to help Thrawn. I think she's a self-serving individual. So what would make sense? Get back to my people, right? I think that's what's going on with the Nightsisters. I just realized I'm so off-centered. That's what I think is going on. And I like this. I like what they're doing with it, but she barely had nothing to show for it in this episode. Yeah, more of Sabine, which, okay, cool. Training with Pyongyang. Hey, man, the droid, Pyongyang, David Tennant's character, I fucks with him. But he's throwing so much shade to Sabine. He reminds me of Alfred. He reminds me of Alfred to Batman all the time, where remember, if you know what I mean by this, Alfred would roast Bruce Wayne every time he could. He just always stayed roasting him. And that's how Pyongyang is. She's like, yo, for real, you trash at this. Like, you're not good. But, hey, keep on trying, though. I respect it. But then that only makes me know more. Sabine's going to be force sensitive by the time this is over. She's going to know it. Which, I understand if she does become force sensitive, because that is how the rules of Star Wars are. After George Lucas explained how the midichlorians work, I get it. Does it mean that I think it's not a good idea? It's like, some of y'all probably didn't watch the show, but The Flash. Alfred would take a bullet for Bruce. That's facts. That's facts. He could talk shit, but he would be there. Remember how in The Flash TV series, you had Barry Allen and you had Eobard Thawne, but as the show ended, there was 13, 14 people that had the Speed Force, and it's like, bro, what are we doing? I don't want them to cross that with Sabine. Now, let me tell you what I think is coming with Sabine. And I will like this if they do decide to do this. What if Sabine goes to the dark side? What if Sabine legitimately goes to the dark side? That would make so much sense. And I'm basing this off of the Freddie Prinze Jr. conversation, where Freddie Prinze Jr. roasts a lot of people for not understanding how the Force works. You have a character like, he was talking about the character like Darth Maul, right? The Greek, he is the Greek tragedy. He can never win. Ahsoka? Similar. Nothing she do ever works. Nothing she does ever truly works. Training Sabine is, if we're going off of the pattern of Ahsoka, training Sabine will also end in a failure. Training Sabine will also end in a failure. Sabine will not become what she thinks that she's going to become. I don't see this working out well. And I like this idea. Sabine goes evil and Ezra remains good. And then Ezra and Sabine have to deal with that shit. I like that a whole lot more than Sabine just learning the Force. Not only do I think that it's not a good idea, it's only a good idea for her to go bad, I think it's a good idea to make Sabine the person that creates the Knights of Ren. I heard that somewhere, that Sabine Wren is connected to the foundation of the Knights of Ren. If she gets trained by Ahsoka, learns about how to become a Jedi per practice, but still falls victim to some dark side usage of the Force, I can see her becoming the founder or one of the founders of the Knights of Ren. Then you connect that to Kylo. Now you're fixing your garbage, right? I think that you have more to play with there. I think because remember, people were wanting Rey to go dark. If you remember back when not Force Awakens, Episode 9 was coming out, people were like, yo, what if Rey went to the dark side? That would be tough. You have an opportunity to do something like that with Sabine, especially if they're pushing this that she's going to get the Force, but she's still, even if she gets the Force, I don't know how rapidly she'll get good with it, but she can still be a pretty good fighter. Remember, she was a Darksaber user, right? She's had this lightsaber for a while, so she could be a pretty good lightsaber wielder. I'm also a huge fan of Naruto, though. I was talking to my wife about this. If you're a Naruto fan, shout out. Rock Lee. You know why he's so dope? Because where everybody else has powers, he doesn't. And he's still out there throwing hands with everybody. E for everybody. I think that Sabine should do that. But if they do decide to make her a Force user, I like the idea that she taps to the dark side of the Force, gets conflicted, has to leave Ahsoka. Ahsoka has to deal with this another failure because that's Ahsoka's life so far. She turned her back on a Jedi. She left Anakin. And then Anakin went sour, right? She tries to fight this war with Thrawn, loses Kanan, and now she's trying to train Sabine. Yeah, Sabine going Sith would follow that. People either don't know, they forget Sabine had a Darksaber. That's what I'm saying. Sabine had the Darksaber. She was trained by Kanan. So she knows how to wield the Darksaber. I had no issue with her rocking the lightsaber in the first episode. None. I hate the fact that she got stabbed. Different. I had no issue rocking the lightsaber. By the way, she did that move where the arm went down and she held herself up. That was tough, man. That was just I can see Sabine doing that in the cartoon. I could see her doing that in the cartoon. That's why I was like, that was a good move. I like that. I want to see more of that Sabine, right? But I like the idea that Sabine goes dark side with it, right? And Ezra comes back, and Ezra is still on the light, and now they have a conflict. It's like that one book that they made where you had the love story, but they were both on the opposite ends. I like that idea. You get the Romeo and Juliet-ish of Star Wars. I like that. I think that that's where they should go with it. But if I was to pump money on it, Sabine will be the greatest Jedi Master of all time. Why? Because somehow Palpatine returned, right? That's what I think they'll do. I don't want them to do it, though. I hope Dave does not do that. That's just my thoughts, though. All in all, man, I am still very, very hype for the Ahsoka show. I'm not losing my hype on it. I'm not. I just thought it was some things that I'm like, okay, I wanted more out of this. So far, I think the Ahsoka show is going much better than Obi-Wan. Much better. Not even close. Much better than Obi-Wan. These three versus the other three, yeah, this one wins. And I'm looking for these last three. I think this week we get the Ahsoka versus Baylen. And then next week we meet Ezra. I mean, the week after we meet Ezra. So I think episode 5 is Ezra's debut. And dude, I'm getting hopeful. I'm trying to get hopeful for Ezra. Because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. I did not really love Ezra in Rebels. Like, I wasn't riding for Ezra. Like, I was riding for Kanan. I felt like Kanan deep. I wasn't riding for Ezra, though. He was like, all right, pipsqueak. You know what I'm saying? Half squat. He's there. I haven't watched The Bad Batch. I haven't. I want to. And, speaking of which, I'm hoping Captain Rex is in this. I'm hoping Captain Rex is in Ahsoka, bro. Straight up. I don't know how he will fit in, but throw Captain Rex in there. Fuck it. I'm ready for Captain Rex. Right? Plot twist. Captain Rex is Merrick. There you go. The whole time. But, yeah, I need to watch The Bad Batch for sure. I do think I need to catch up on the Bad Batch. Trying to have Lindsey go back and watch some of the Ahsoka stuff so she knows a little bit more what's going on. Because right now, I think she's starting to get it. We watched enough for it to click, but there's still some stuff out there we need to catch up on. Yeah, Kanan grew on me. Ezra grew on me. Same thing. It's just like Ahsoka. Ahsoka was annoying, bruh. If you take it back to season 1, Clone Wars, bro, she sucked. But she grew on me. That's why I do like the fact that Ahsoka's getting her time in the sun. I am glad for this. I think that she has earned it as a character to get this kind of show. Ezra was the same thing, though. Ezra was like, okay, you're around, cool. But I was with Kanan. I was there for Kanan. Yeah, Snips. Yeah, I was there for Kanan. And I liked Ezra more when they got into the Darth Maul of it all. When Darth Maul showed up, was trying to manipulate Ezra over to the dark side. Will he? Won't he? Oh shit, what's going on? We got holocrons in this bitch. Like I was with Ezra there. It took me that season 3 to really start fucking with Ezra, right? And then when we lost Kanan, all right, it seemed like Ezra was cemented on the light side. Boom, I'm good with Ezra. Then of course, he drifted off with the hyperspace whales. But I mean. My thing, what would be more interesting, though, if, they made my boy blind, bro. Yeah, they did him dirty with the blind shit. But, they kind of made him cool. It gave him, like, the blind sensei thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you getting washed by a blind dude. It's like the dude from the Rogue One, right? I walk with the Force. The Force is with me. Like, he was blind. But Kanan had to wear the mask, though. Like Kenshi from Mortal Kombat. Remember Kenshi? Kenshi was tough. He had the thing wrapped around his eyes. The red. Is his name Kenshi? He was like the Daredevil type character in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, he used the Force. But yeah, I like Kanan. So I mean, I grew to like Ezra. Question though, where the hell is Zeb? Where's Zeb, bro? Like, remember we was like, yo, Zeb, man. Zeb was in Andor. Where is he at? My man ain't even, they ain't put the beacon out or nothing. Someone throw the hat in the air for Zeb. Get Zeb in on the action. We got Chopper. Yeah, where's Zeb, man? I want to know. Because for this being Rebel Season 5 or Rebel Season 6 that they're doing with Ahsoka, the fact you don't got Hera and, yeah, they showed Zeb and Andor. The fact that you don't got Hera and Sabine in, like, the same room, like, they're all holocron, whatever they want to call it. Like, put them under the same roof. Put them together. Ride out. Go throw Captain Rex in the back, have Zeb over there, Chopper on the side, Hera driving, Ahsoka crossing her arms and shit. Like, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. I'm out of apple juice. Well, yeah, man. All in all, I'm still with the Ahsoka show. I'm still with it. I'm not. I see a lot of hate though. I see a lot of hate for this show. Like, oh, it's all about women. Blah 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 blah. Bruh. First of all, man, like I if you hate a show because a woman is in it, you gotta look in the mirror. I don't like shows because sometimes the women are poorly written. Sometimes women suck, right? I don't think that's the case with this show. I just don't think that the character that Ahsoka is matches. a little bit of what she was back then. Like, I want to see some of those knucklehead moments, right? Not to say knucklehead moments, but like, she was very with Anakin. You know what I'm saying? Where's that? Right? I want to see a little bit of that. Because so far, she seems pretty unrecognizable to who she was in Ahsoka. And I like the girl they got for Sabine. Just make her badass. Just make her badass, man. Yeah, it's almost typical for people to hate on new Star Wars. Yeah, it is. I mean, and I've been trying to figure that out. And I can kind of feel it. It's the jadedness, which I think is not deserving. I mean, it's not undeserving. I think that people have gotten them, like, I think people have really gotten themselves excited for a lot of these Star Wars projects the same way Marvel fans like myself get excited for these Marvel projects. And when you get excited for things, you get vulnerable, right? You get vulnerable, bro. And when you get vulnerable, the hurt hurts more. So when you then put yourself out there and that shit is just trash and it's almost like they don't care about what they're doing, it hurts you. So then after a while, you become like that dude that doesn't want to talk to nobody. Like, yo, I hate everybody. Like, remember, you know that dude, right? We all know that one friend that just can't get no women, right? And they try and fail. And then all of a sudden, they're like, I'm just done with women. I'm just done with it, man. Fuck them, right? That's how people are starting to feel with Star Wars. Mephisto's Merrick. Nah, man, I remember the hype for Mephisto and in WandaVision, man. They were on that one. They were on the Mephisto hype. But yeah, it's the thing. And a lot of times too, I feel like the same way they were doing with this whole Merrick. Who is Merrick? Merrick could be nobody. Merrick could be Merrick. Straight up. Merrick doesn't have to be anyone specific. He could just be his own character. But because we're having these conversations, we're getting ourselves hyped up for it. And when it turns out Merrick is just Merrick, we're going to feel like Disney let us down. When we did this to ourselves, I think there has to be a certain amount of self-accountability with some of these shows and how our reception is and how our reaction is to the things that we get hyped on ourselves. We were never promised Starkiller was going to be in this show. We were never promised Ezra was going to be an Inquisitor of any kind. Us creating these thoughts, it's the same thing with Multiverse of Madness. Remember, Multiverse of Madness, we were like, man, they're going to go over here, and they're going to have this person, they're going to put in the Fantastic Four, and they're going to put in X, Y, and Z, and I heard Daniel Craig was in the movie, and blah, 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 blah. And then you see the movie, and they just really had the one universe, really, with the Illuminati. But people were like, man, they didn't do it enough. We thought we was going to go first. Like, that was self-hype. It was self-hype. We got ourselves hyped up for that shit. It's self-inflicted damage. We're cheddar bobbing ourselves. That's what we're doing. Star Wars fans are a whole bunch of cheddar bobbers, man. We just self-inflicted. And we got to recognize that. So I definitely do think that there is an element to say that I did not like this because I did not like the story development. I did not like the character development that we went on in this journey. That's fair. You can always say that. You can say with anything. And if you have a good argument for it, then I'll listen to it. You know, I have no issue with this being a primarily female staff because it's Rebels. And at the same time, who cares? My issue is when these characters are just with any other character, when they're just written bad and just written to be super OP with no, like, where did this come from? Kind of a thing. And I'm not saying that that's what Star Wars. No, but I will be saying that. Star Wars has done that repeatedly, right? And I'm going to just bring it back to the whole Sabine get stabbed with the lightsaber thing. Sabine should be dead. Now, granted, it hit her off to the side, but at the same time, it's a lightsaber, cuz. I would see if she survived a blaster. If she survived a blaster here, hey, man, put her in the med bay. But, homie, She took a whole lightsaber, bro, to the gut. And Reva did it twice. Reva survived twice. And you know what? I was going to say this too about Sabine surviving. I was going to argue that maybe Baylen's apprentice is still very improficient with the lightsaber, and so she missed, right? Because Qui-Gon Jinn got stabbed right through his spine. Right through his spine. Maul knew where to place it. Because Maul is a well-trained Darthamir Night Sister made dude, right? He knows where to put it. He can kill Qui-Gon. So maybe this apprentice just didn't know where to aim. Hit her off to the side, Sabine lives. I can take that. My issue more lies with Reva, and you didn't see it. Well, if you did see it, you saw it, but Kingsport, I don't think you saw it. Reva is a character, spoilers, she gets stabbed twice. Once when she was a young girl, and she gets stabbed by Anakin, and then later on she gets stabbed by Vader. And I'm like, all right, so you got stabbed by a dude that knows the Force, the same way that Maul did and killed Qui-Gon, but yet this girl lived twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, 1 + 1 ain't equaling 2. It don't make sense. Yeah, I used to think blaster hits would be terrifying. I mean, yeah, blaster hits should be terrifying, but blaster hits don't have anything on a lightsaber. You use a lightsaber to deflect blasters, meaning that the plasma has to be as somewhat more resilient to a blaster shot. You can survive a blaster bullet, sure. You shouldn't survive a lightsaber. I mean, unless your hand gets cut off, right? Like, you've seen the hand get cut off all the time. It's cauterized immediately. You know what I'm saying? Psh, I'm good. In the stomach, though? Vital organs? Vital, man. Vital. You got kidneys and spleens. Lungs. Like, it'll burn your lung, man. Then you get you can't breathe, man. You can't breathe. Help. Yeah, man, that's my issue with. Yeah, that's my issue with it. It's people are just surviving, and I was already like, how did Darth Maul survive getting chopped in half and falling down a chute? But here we are. Like, you could throw Darth Maul in this. It's not just about the women. Throw Darth Maul in there, straight up. But then there was Night Sister magic. They're doing the stabby stab bullshit because Disney didn't want to use Lucas tropes like cutting off limbs. That's stupid. How can you say you don't want to use Lucas tropes but then have Lucasfilm? Like, just do it. Hey, George, you made a $15 billion thing. We want that stuff. Hey, guys, don't do any of that shit. Like, it's so stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. I ain't got nothing else for it. It's like... And I don't blame George Lucas for the Darth Maul thing. I thought that was a way cool way to bring back Darth Maul. Right? I thought it was a cool way to bring back Darth Maul. It was surprising. Right? We got a lot of good stories with Maul later on. Cool. I'm with the Darth Maul thing. Reva, Sabine. I mean, shit, Kylo survived. But then the thing with Kylo, he had to be force healed. Right? When Rey stabbed him, and then she can magically force heal. Han Solo got stabbed, but then fell down to shoot. So I don't know what that one was. Was that more the shoot, or more was that him getting stabbed? I don't know. The lightsaber got nerfed, bro. The lightsaber got nerfed, and it's almost the most irredeemable thing I think that you've done in Star Wars. It's the wackiest shit you've done with Star Wars. And to even say like the lightsaber, because I think I've heard people say the lightsaber doesn't make Star Wars. Yes, it does. The Force and lightsabers, Jedi, Sith is Star Wars. If you take that shit away, you get Star Trek. You get Harry Potter. Like, these things are quintessentially Star Wars. So to say that, a lightsaber isn't what makes Star Wars, that's horseshit. You don't know what you're talking about. You just want, like, you're one of those people, like, I'm not saying anybody here is, but people that say things like that are people that just want to argue, just to be someone that argues those opposing points. These things do make Star Wars. And they should be proud to do these things. Straight up. Star Wars is a lightsaber. Every 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids had a lightsaber, bro. Straight up, man. When you were kids, you took the highlighters. How many did you use? 5, 6, 7 highlighters connected? Little markers? Lightsabers, bro. Everything we did was lightsabers. Star Wars has themes. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are just certain pillars to Star Wars that make it fundamentally Star Wars. Right? If I put a lightsaber in any other property, you're going to say, "Oh, that's a lightsaber." You know, we know what it's supposed to be. A lightsaber is Star Wars. A lightsaber is Star Wars. The Force is Star Wars. Droids. I wouldn't even say droids. Like, there's a lot of things in this that's just Star Wars. Now, I do understand the themes you have with Luke and Leia, the twins. You know what I'm saying? I like all that stuff too. That's all important. I'm not taking any of that stuff away. The story element is very important to it. But respect what the lightsaber is and stop nerfing it. Make the lightsabers great again. Make the lightsabers mean something. You know, Vader walking down that hallway at the end of Rogue One was terrifying. Because he closed everyone in there and it was just him. And he really didn't need a lightsaber, but that lightsaber is what kicked it off, didn't it? Remember Rogue One? I do. I remember how bored I was watching that movie until hallway scene, darkness, red light. Remember how hype I got? I remember how hype I got for sure. Maybe that was just me. Something about the lightsaber changes the game. But here we are. You get stabbed by a lightsaber, you just need 8 hours. 8 hours get touched up. You back on the field on Sunday, bro. Strap in. You're no longer questionable. You're active. Full participant in practice on Friday. Full participant. You know what I'm saying? It's like cortisone shot. We out of here. We good. Facts, man. When Darth Vader extended the lightsaber hilt in Rogue One, that was the part where everyone's like, Rogue One ain't that bad. You know it. You know it, man. Because no one cared about Andor in Rogue One. No one did. Everyone like K2SO. No one cared about Andor. No one cared about Galen Erso like that. No, that movie was so, I'm not going to say bland. It was the supporting characters, bro. I'm on the Forces with me. He kind of held it down, but that movie was kind of boring until the last 3 seconds. Psh, Vader. Cemented in Star Wars history. Dopest hallway scene. So dope, they've done hallway scenes ever since, bro. Give Luke one. Give Baylen one. Baylen's wasn't that good, though. His was all right. Luke's was tough. Luke's was tough. I mean, what do you guys, how are you guys feeling about Ahsoka? I want to know. How are you guys feeling about Ahsoka? Are we okay with where we're going, what Dave is trying to do? Also, if you just have grievances, what are your grievances? What are you not liking? I mean, just comment that so I can respond to it. Because, like I said, I am 70% enjoying this. There's a lot of things I don't. And I cannot wait for these last 3. Because these last 3 episodes could still redeem how I feel about the first 3. That's where I'm at still. If these last 3 stick the landing, which, let's be honest, how many Disney Plus shows stick the landing? if the last 3 episodes do stick the landing, I'm very happy with this show. I would say that this show was a success. There's a lot of people trying to bash it, and I want to just put a video out where I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm being patient. I think that's fair, for sure. I mean, this is a parts type show. You see it, part 1, part 2, part 3. Be patient. That's one way. I'm with you on that. If you don't, it's one of those things where there's so much more that we need to get into. They're building up so much stuff right now. However much is going to be answered in this series still remains to be the question, because we still have a whole nother movie being planned. So you're not going to be able to answer everything. I do think we're going to get Ezra. We're going to see Ezra. That'll be answered. But I don't think Thrawn is losing. Right? It will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see if Thrawn has actually built an empire in that other galaxy, knowing how smart he is. And honestly, I'm a little nervous for Thrawn, and here's why: they'll nerf him. I'm worried that they're going to remember Multiverse of Madness. Fantastic Four with Mr. Fantastic, the smartest man, Mr. Fantastic, and then he says the dumbest shit to Wanda. Like, I'm afraid they're going to do that to Thrawn. I'm afraid that they're going to make the King the Conqueror thing with the ants, right? They're going to build up King the Conqueror and then have him lose to a bunch of ants, because they already did that with the space whales. Granted, the space whales were space whales and they're way more intimidating than a bunch of ants. But that's how King lost. I think, and I do look at Marvel and Disney the same. I do. It's under the same umbrella to me. He's supposed to be military genius. Thank you, King's Portal. He's a military genius. And I want that to be shown legitimately. And they should do it like, remember how Thanos, right? When Thanos showed up, he made sense. And he was outsmarting people. That should be your Thrawn, just with no powers. Just with no powers. But I feel like they're going to boo-boo the fool him, right? And they're going to nerf his intelligence. What was it? Barely an inconvenience. Thrawn. Right? All right, Justin, I'm going. Yeah, man. But that's my thoughts on Ahsoka. I'm still hype. I know it sounded like I was bashing a lot of it. I wasn't. I'm not trying to. I just have some grievances. But at the same time, I'm really liking where Dave is trying to push this story. It's the more important thing. Right? Yeah. All right, we got about 5-10 minutes left. Let's get off topic. So, I did want to get into talk about Neon Dion over there in Colorado. Y'all see that Colorado game? Did y'all see that Colorado game? Neon Dion. Prime. He's doing some good work with those boys down there, man. His son put up over 500 yards. They had one true freshman put up 4 touchdowns, and they got some kid who plays, what was it, Hunter? Travis Hunter? Bro, he plays wide receiver and defensive back, over 110 snaps in the game. Oh, my God. He's got a good little squad over there. They got a good little squad over there, man. But other than that, man, I think it's about time we bounce. Got any last things for me? I'll make sure BC's here next week. All right, yo. All right, we're going to get up out of here then. I appreciate you guys joining me as we talked about Ahsoka Episode 3. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, right? I do hope you guys are. I really hope that you're enjoying everything you guys watch. Shout out to Barbie for becoming the highest grossing movie of the year so far, being out Super Mario. That was news, too. I saw. And then Taylor Swift got a movie coming out. Make sure you guys get your tickets. They're selling like crazy. But other than that, man, I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all the next time. When's the next time? We don't know. But I will see y'all, all right? Love y'all. Finger guns.